Another thing I want to hit on with the Thunder is the face of the franchise. Just mentioned him, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's not gotten near the love he deserves because he plays in a small market. He was my pick to win Most Improved Player this year, and not because I think he's going to make a massive leap from last year. Granted, he does look good and looks like he picked up right where he left off and got a little bit better at some things, but it's because he didn't get any attention in the previous season. All the way up until the injury, the then 22-year-old was playing at an all-star level, and it was the entire team offensively. Everything flowed through him. And then this year, he starts the same, but beats the Lakers after 3 games of people saying he looked bad and his jump shot looks worse. The eyes were on him because of the attention the Lakers get, and where people were calling for a Most Improved Player vote. That was it. He just had to play the big team, and then he gets attention. He's been an all-star. Right now, he is leading the league in ISO scoring. He's unguardable on the ISO. And as Thunder Film Room pointed out, the Thunder aren't a team with a ton of court spacing that would create an ideal ISO situation for Shai. He's just that good on the ISO. Unguardable. Put your best guy on him. Good luck guarding number 2. The offense flows through him. His step back is up there with the best of them, and he's locked down defense. Shai is that dude, and it's about time he starts getting some respect, because he hasn't since he left the Clippers.
Yeah, I love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm a Clippers fan. I've stated that before. And when we drafted him at, I believe it was 11th, I felt a certain way about it, because we could have drafted Michael Porter Jr., who had question marks and things of that nature, but we decided to go with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and I have been pleasantly surprised with his play since day one, and I'm going to be a fan of his no matter where team he goes for the rest of his career. He was helpful for the Clippers. He's turning into a star on the Thunder, and he does deserve some respect going forward because he has really earned that. But I don't know. He's an all-star caliber player, but I don't know if he actually makes the all-star team this year.
See, and that's where I would disagree with you. I do think he makes the all-star team because of how big of a role he has with the Thunder. He's an all-star talent player. We can both agree on that. But it's a matter of getting that attention. And because he has to do such a large amount of things for Oklahoma City, he's going to get the stats up. He's looking good right now. Leading the league in ISO scoring, that's getting a lot of attention. And I will think he gets some votes this year. Last year he got quite a bit of votes and just missed the All-Star game by a couple of spots. And it was a season that Devin Booker got left out as well. I think he gets in this year. He's getting a lot of attention, and he's just going to keep making big splashes in the NBA as he continues to add to his highlight reel.
Well, it's not that I don't think he doesn't deserve to be an all-star, because I think he has the game to be an all-star. I think he is an all-star. But if you took the market into play and you put the media into play and the fans into play, because they have an impact on who makes the all-star teams, they have a voting piece of it. Ja Morant. I don't know if Shai's going to be over Ja Morant as a skill set of a basketball player or as media. You got Steph Curry. You got Luka. CJ McCollum's been on a tear this year after coming back from being hurt last year. Anthony Edwards has taken a step this year. I personally take Shai, but people love the highlight plays that Anthony Edwards makes, and that could play a factor. Donovan Mitchell still leading the Utah Jazz. Damian Lillard in Portland. You got Russell Westbrook in L.A., De'Aaron Fox in Sacramento, and then you still have Chris Paul and Devin Booker down in Phoenix as well. So that's a lot of guards in a crowded Western Conference when there's only 4 to 6 spots for a guard to make the All-Star teams.
I think if I would only give out guarantees, I would say Steph's going to be an all-star. Luka's going to be an all-star. Dame, every other year I would say guaranteed he's a lock, but I'm not sure about him. Ja Morant's playing at an unreal level, which I'm cool with. I like Ja Morant a lot. I liked him when he was at Murray State. I like him now in Memphis. But some of the other guys, I don't know if Anthony Edwards is going to get in there over Shai. I don't think he will. I don't think CJ McCollum can keep this pace up. Damian Lillard, like I mentioned, he hasn't looked quite the same this year. I know he wants to put something together for Portland, but he hasn't looked as great as he had. De'Aaron Fox has taken a weird step this year where he's not having the production we'd expect out of him. And I don't know if that's because of an overcrowded ball-handling group.
His shot just isn't falling. I mean, you look at his field goal percentages, he's shooting the ball horribly right now. Last time I checked, he was shooting 16% from the three-point line. He's having a career high in turnovers. It's just a sloppy year for him right now. But the All-Star break comes in February. So that's a long time for people to get their numbers up, fix their numbers, things of that nature. And it's not that, say, Anthony Edwards that you brought up. I don't think Anthony Edwards is going to make the All-Star team over Shai. But I think Anthony Edwards has the ability to take votes away from Shai from other people, if that makes sense.
Well, yes, in a sense. I don't know, because they both have the Timberwolves fans and Thunder fans are very loyal fans. You have to be when you're a small market team. They're not going to get the national attention that like a Russell Westbrook is. But Russell Westbrook, I love him to death, isn't playing what Shai is playing this year. Anthony Edwards could attract votes, but I just think Shai's too special. Shai is making his own highlights as well. I've seen a couple step backs floating around the internet, but again, I'm very involved with the Thunder fan base on social media. I don't know what's going around the national markets, but what I've been paying attention to national markets, it's not enough of Shai, and that's what worries me. Obviously, I'm biased to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm literally wearing his jersey right now. You're listening to the radio. You can't see it, but I promise you, I'm wearing his jersey right now. I love Shai. He deserves it. We're agreeing on that. I just don't know if there's enough competition in the West that's going to take votes away from him. But to create the situation for Shai, I think he's going to do it on his own. He doesn't have a lot of help, and that usually brings in a lot of votes because, like I've been saying, he's going to have a large part of the production in Oklahoma City and Loud City, and the Thunder fans love Shai to death, and they're going to rally to vote for him and do their own part to rally in votes for him. And I don't know if the Timberwolves fans are going to do the same for Anthony Edwards.
Well, Anthony Edwards was just an example piece for me, really. But I guess the best example that I have of the media and fans and coaches picking someone over their respect for a player instead of maybe a skill set of the player was Mike Conley made the All-Star team last year. I don't think anybody says that Mike Conley is better than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but last year Mike Conley was on the All-Star team and Shai wasn't. So it's a very hit and miss type thing. So I don't have a lot of confidence there because, like you said, OKC doesn't get a lot of attention. They're not going to be winning a lot of games either. I think that's going to hurt them. Not only are they not going to be getting attention, they're not going to be winning games. It's one thing to say, oh, they're not going to get a bunch of attention, but at least they're like the top 5 team in the West. But if Shai is leading a tank, but it's not his choice, so it's unfair for people to hold that against him. But at the same time, I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to be on a losing team, a notoriously bad losing team that people aren't really going to pay much attention to. So I just don't see where he gets the attention that he needs to get those votes to be an all-star.
Either way, if he gets in there or not, I know Shai's bought in, which makes me happy as a Thunder fan. He's going to be all right if he doesn't get the All-Star nod. Obviously, he wants it, the fan base wants it, his teammates want it. I still think he can get it. I don't think it's unreasonable to expect him to get into the All-Star game. We've seen guys like Jeremy Grant on the Pistons, not a huge team, get in there. Domantas Sabonis got in there. I think Shai will find his way in the long run.